Hey guys, and welcome to another start of another build here. I'm going to be working on the 1000 Polar Lights Klingon D7 Battlecruiser. This from the original series, kind of near and dear to my heart. This is one of the first models, along with my old original AMD Enterprise that I had when I was young, back in the olden days. Long since gone. I don't know where the old models ended up, but anyway, so I recently, as you might have, if anybody who's following along, recently did complete my Enterprise 1000, and so I thought that it would be great to revisit essentially the same model. It's just a Polar Lights, kind of keeping it up to date, but it's pretty much, I think, very similar to the model that I know and did in the past. Hey guys, just checking in here on the very initial stages of the D7 build. I obviously, you can see, did another round of fill. It's a surprisingly large number of just like defects. Just from the molds where these pins came through. They're actually small divots. So inside there, so I did paint with the inside color that we want there, which is the gray that I'll be using for the kind of everywhere, the dark gray that goes on the top, sort of the top surfaces. Is going to be that one. So I also have it in here, and then the small actual dish that's inside there at the very inside is going to get this same copper that I used for the Enterprise deflector dish. So it has a copper as well. I'm going to use the same one there. So that I'll do here just shortly. I'm just going to drop the color down into there. There's kind of a nice sort of a line that it should just be able to pool itself into, and so hopefully we can get that painted here in a minute. And then once that's done, I'll let that dry, and then it needs to be in place when this is put together, and then I'll put it together, glue it. I had it kind of all together last night, but I realized I just don't want to have to deal with this painting once it's inside of here. Way easier to get it done, put it all together, and just tape that closed, so I don't kind of look at that until it's ready at the end. We'll kind of take it, go from there, kind of thing. That's the plan anyway. So that's that part. This one, I put on my I've got some my liquid masking film put on the red lights there on the top. I'll put probably another coat or two just to make sure it's good and thick, protect those. The top of this does get the dark gray, but the this part, the little bulldog piece here, and this little ridge part here, and this part, all get the light green, which is a combination of these guys in a 2-to-1 ratio. The XF21 and XF23 gives you a color like that when you mix it, which is exactly the green that we want here on this underside. So this is the dark green. I am actually going to be doing a 3-shade. I will be using a lighter version of this as well. It'll be reduced half, so we'll add whatever number of drops I've got of this. There's going to be an equal number of white drops going in for the light green, and that's going to be on the boom and on these the bridge section. That's the lighter version of this. I just want to go with the 3. I'm just going to drain this excess into another one. So I just expose my pieces here. I'm not going to throw this bleach away because it can always be used to strip again. So I'm just going to keep that there. Oh, let's get the lid put on that. Get our label on there. This, so we know that it's bleach. Side here. I have a number, as you know, alcohol baths, paint thinner baths, same jars and same, just for that kind of purpose. Okay, so now what we'll do is actually just pour these guys straight in. There, and then these last ones. So all these go on our the nacelle. These are a couple of spots there where they clip in there. And again, all of these parts need to be silver, but just not bright shiny chrome, which is what I did not want. So that's why I wanted to take that off. I will be looking at painting these. Obviously I'm going to prime them tonight, get them all cleaned up. I'm just checking to see, I feel like there might be just a little bit of base clear. Yeah, I think there is. So I did not get that off, which is not uncommon. I know on chrome pieces they often, yeah, there's definitely some base clear. You can see it's just that shiny, just like we do, right? If we're doing a metallic, we do the exact, we often use like a black or a white, not necessarily clear, but it's a shiny coat. And you can see that pretty clearly on here on all these pieces, and that doesn't get stripped off with the bleach. So it takes chrome we can get off, and the same way we do the painting on our chrome pieces over the shininess, it just adds a depth. Well, same thing here. So so I'm likely going to have to deal with that. I mean, the one nice thing is it is a coat. If I just can sand that ever so slightly with some really gentle grit, I could actually just paint over that as well. That's just a base coat that is paintable for sure. So and especially when you consider I'm going to be putting on a silver that wants a shiny base coat as well. So this is actually pretty not a negative here at all. I'll be able to work around this. I will have to do just a teensy bit of sanding there. I don't want to. It's been a long time since this coat went down, and it's had chrome over it all that time. So so I'll likely just do a real light sanding there with probably 3000 or even 5000 grit, just to rough it up a bit and get it ready for the silver paint. I didn't get a chance to show you down here. I did finish the painting, and I added the dishes copper down in there. It looks great. And then I just sealed it up so that for the duration here, just like my Cobra head fins, they just stay covered, and I'm kind of painting around them, and then at the very end we can just take them off and have that stuff already done. So it just saves some work there at the kind of the end of the process. I did the rest of the silver was sprayed. Looks fantastic. I really love that color. It's just such a nicer metallic than the chrome. It's I think I mentioned already. It is this aluminum, which I'm in love with, and it just has a great kind of aluminum look, but it's a really nice solid kind of silver. These little sections are going to be painted gold ultimately, both of those. So, but I'm just letting this set up first, and then I'll add that gold in. Unfortunately, on these little nacelle clip pieces, they'd of course get entrapped on the back here. I don't know what I was thinking. Obviously, not a lot. And I I had them pinned down here, all painted, and then realized, and I knew it, I just didn't, God, that it's the other side as well. They're entrapped on both these sides, so they should have been taped down like that, so that I could paint both, all the edges. So I have to get out the paint and add some more silver on those guys. I'll do that here a bit later tonight, just to let that dry overnight, so it's ready for tomorrow. And then I can entrap these, and I'll do the same thing, get that built, tape them in, and then have this all glued together and do my fill and get it all set. The insets here can be inserted at any time, so it's not like they don't need to be in there at the time of assembly. Hey everyone, just thought I'd check back in after the paint booth here. So lots of everything's primed, so it went pretty good. Most of these are going to be probably pretty good. Oh, I also did the gold colors you can see here on the little sort of distorted diamond there that's on each of the nacelle wing pieces that go down towards the actual engines. Hey guys, so just getting prepared to glue in my boom onto the main body part here, and I just want to sand off just been busy sanding off the paint and the primer to make sure I get a good bond. And I just want to see, it's gonna go in, that's the bottom side, so that's gonna go that way, so it will go a little, no, there's not much underneath there, it's actually a little bit above. So I'm just because I want to get as much surface glue contact points as I can here, so I'm going to be gluing that whole front face of this with some just good old-fashioned testers hot glue, or well, plastic glue. It's hot chemically. It'll melt, and I'll probably even get a little bit of the edges, but I actually don't mind. I can sand that and clean that up. I just want to get as much contact as humanly possible. This is a obviously a structurally challenged spot, and I don't want, if at all possible, I certainly don't want it easily coming off, and so we'll do all that we can to try to make this as a really solid connection here. I know when I was young, my Klingon boom certainly never stayed connected, and I remember it had, I didn't know how to do things, still learning, but back then I really had no clue, and so I would just pour glue on around the outside, and it was just a terrible mess, but hopefully I can learn from that past and get a better connection here. So really just important to double check. Obviously the top piece has the hole in, so that's definitely the bottom, and so top faces up here, and that is the right direction for this guy. So I just don't want to, of course, once this gets all in there, and I'm going to use, I've got my epoxy out here. It's a 5-minute epoxy, so right before I start this, I'm going to get it mixed up, and then it gives me a couple of minutes to get this glue in place, and get it in there, get that all nice in place, and then I'll just put a good gallop of the epoxy in there to kind of hold that all from this direction and kind of bond this part as a block of epoxy. All right, so I think that's pretty well sanded. Let me just make sure we got all the residue, clean connection there, and in fact I might even just get a little bit of, it's not, I just want as good a connection as possible. So I'm actually going to use just a little bit of alcohol here. I mean, it'll melt my primer, but I don't really mind. I'm taking it off anyway, so just give it a nice clean. That's good. And then just a little bit here as well. Okay. Looks good. I think we're ready to do this. I'm just going to mix up my epoxy here first. So let's get after getting this in here. And as I say, I do want to get a nice, get some coverage across this whole face with this glue. I know it's kind of a messy thing, and I know it's not exactly relishing the thought here, but reminds me of the olden days. Alright, so got a good amount of glue in there. And in fact, let me just another stick there and just kind of make sure I got really every surface there covered as much as I can. Even along that top there a little bit. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Okay, and again, top up. So that's our top guy here. So now that's good there. And so what we'll do, so that's good. That's a good, strong lot of points of contact. I can see that even here now. So that's a good sign. And then what I want to do is start getting that epoxy in there already. So we know that that's looking really good. And there's not really any flexibility. It's not like it could be, oh, kind of off kilter or something. There's like only one way that could fit together. So we're pretty safe there. So I'm just going to start filling in my epoxy here. I'm just going to really lay this in here. I'm literally going to build a block of epoxy so it's attached all the way. Like that. Let me just grab the last of it here. That's what, get it all in there. We're literally building kind of a block, and it's going to dry and become incredibly hard. That is built for the ages here now, and I'm actually making sure the epoxy actually gets all into as much of these edges as it can to have some of that structural strength from those little pieces as well. What's really tempting is to use, again, the epoxy, just to make sure that's really bonded and it's kind of, these are kind of almost become structurally a part of the same frame unit. So it is awfully tempting to do that, so that we don't, you know, there's no issues with it ever kind of being loose or anything. In fact, I think I might do that. Okay, I'll be back with the two-parter. Hey there. So back with my same stuff here. So let's just go through the kind of cookie cutter here. anyway, that's it. We'll just let this set up and get after some putting up. Hey everyone. So, next day, my epoxies all had a chance to kind of really set up. It's rock solid. Certainly the boom is really solidly connected, as you recall. We're just starting to get a bit of get some sanding started here. I'm using some 800 to start on, especially where there's the epoxy here on these seams, and I'll just take out any of the epoxy surface, and then it's perfectly good to start. Once I get that sort of roughed and scuffed and taken essentially out, I don't want any surface there, and then I can just put my my putty right over the actual crack that remains. So that just worked great. I'm really happy with the results here. So quite a bit of sanding here in front of me here tonight. Just get those cleaned up, and then I might come back and just show you a little bit of the putting. But just so you know, that is all nicely set up, and so it's pretty close. We'll see here. I'm gonna, I'll keep doing just a little bit more. I'm gonna go up to a little. This is all with 800 now, so I'm gonna go up and probably do 1,000 or maybe even up to 1,500 on all of these now. But before I do that, what I realized is that most of these feel pretty good, and I don't think are going to take. I think they'll come out okay. The only one I'm not sure about is on the front top here. We'll see. I may need to do a little bit additional layering to build up that out a little, maybe. The big thing that I discovered is under here. I think on both of these, as you can see, just zoom in there a little bit. They're close. They're pretty smooth, but there are little areas in there that require just teeny little gaps. So in here and there, and then on same thing on this side, just in this area, and just a little bit there. So those two are seems to me the areas where I know there's no point in me priming that. I can see they need that, so I'm just gonna get some additional little teeny bit of extra putty in there, let that dry, sand that up, and then I think, as I say, I'll go to 1,500, get the tack cloth on it, and then into the booth for priming. Hey everyone, just checking in on the results from last night's priming, and then I've been sanding here a bit more. It came out really well. The primer really covered perfectly, and my seams worked out really well. There was a couple of spots. That's where you can see where I'm going a little bit deeper here. I am actually, and I know there's a little spot there more where I'll be filling, just doing a little bit of additional fill. I need to do a little bit more work right here, this area as well. You can probably see there. And then the other side, it worked out really great. I might just spend a little bit more time here, but it's really good. Both of these seams I'm very happy with. They've taken a lot of work, and there's a lot of layers of fill and attention there, but they're coming out to start looking really great. And I love the sort of look of that back end, and just the way that it is. It has a very it's got a lot of curves that are kind of just really interesting. Hi guys, so as you can see, Klingon D7 just came out of the paint booth just literally a couple minutes ago. I've got the sort of dark, well, light gray laid down there. Went really well. I love the look of it. You can even see just the shape of this vessel, and the way that the shadows fall is just really great when you look straight. Like at certain angles, it's got a great shadowing happening, but yet you look straight on, and it's not really there. And love it. It turned out all that I had hoped for sure. And I don't know if you can see it, but there is ever so slightly, when you catch it in the right angle, there is just a hint of purple in there. And then you kind of look again and you don't see it, but for a second it catches you. And it's true, there is just a little bit. So the color is essentially a light gray, the XF66, and then I used 5 mils, so half of this bottle, just for the amount that I made up to do this, and then I added 1 mil of this purple missions model 121 purple violet, so 20 drops of this 1 mil to it, and it came up with that color. So it's that's what's left over. Yeah, so I'll check back in. I'm going to let this obviously dry overnight, and then tomorrow I'll take off. I didn't tape everywhere. I mean, I didn't even tape underneath. I just wanted a little bit on those edges. Didn't really need to do that. At the front, you notice I didn't even bother. I was just firing straight down. It's more important how I tape it off tomorrow to protect this dark gray, or light gray. I keep calling it dark gray because it's actually pretty, probably maybe slightly darker than I was anticipating. I mean, look at the lid. But it's really because of this purple being added in there. It literally did darken it. And so, yeah,